Imagine waking up one morning to find an entire city, once alive with laughter, trade, and prayer, vanished without a trace. No battles recorded, no disasters remembered, only silence where life once thrived. Throughout history, there are places that seemed eternal, yet disappeared in a single night, leaving behind ruins, whispers, and unanswered questions. From fortresses swallowed by the earth to villages consumed by the sea, these lost worlds defy logic and challenge our understanding of time, survival, and mystery. Were they destroyed by nature's fury, abandoned in fear of a hidden curse, or pulled into legend by forces beyond explanation? In this video, we uncover the most mysterious destinations that faded into nothingness, where legends, secrets, and eerie silence are all that remain. Step into the unknown, as each story draws you deeper into the shadows of our planet's greatest enigmas. Imagine a thriving Roman city, full of markets, theaters, and lavish villas, frozen in time by disaster. In the year 79, Mount Vesuvius erupted with a force so sudden that within a single day, Pompeii vanished beneath a storm of ash and pumice. More than 2,000 lives were lost, but what remained is one of the most haunting archaeological treasures in the world. Streets, temples, even loaves of bread left in ovens were sealed away for nearly 17 centuries. When excavations began in the 18th century, Pompeii revealed an unparalleled snapshot of Roman daily life. Graffiti on the walls, vibrant frescoes, and intricate mosaics still telling stories from 2 millennia ago. Today, walking through its silent ruins feels like stepping back in time, where tragedy and preservation meet in a city that disappeared overnight, yet continues to speak to us across the ages. High above the ancient Inca capital of Cusco stands SACSAYHUAMAN, a fortress so mysterious it still defies explanation. Built in the 15th century, Its walls are made of enormous stone blocks, some weighing more than 200 tons, cut and fitted together with such precision that not even a blade of grass can slip between them. And yet, the Incas had no iron tools, no wheels, no draft animals to move such weight. How did they carve and transport these giants up the hill? Some believe it was pure engineering genius. Others whisper of lost knowledge. SACSAYHUAMAN was more than a fortress. It was also a ceremonial center where the Inti Raymi, the festival of the sun, is still celebrated each June. On the southern coast of Turkey lies MYRA, an ancient Lycian city that seems carved straight from the cliffs themselves. Once a bustling center over 2,000 years ago, MYRA is most famous for its breathtaking rock-cut tombs, sculpted high into the limestone hills, resembling stone houses meant to shelter the dead for eternity. These cliffside necropolises, dating back to the 4th century before Christ, have survived long after the city itself faded. MYRA was also home to a grand Roman theatre, one of the largest in Lycia, still standing with its semicircular rows and echoing arches. Deep in the rainforests of northern Guatemala rises TIKAL, once the beating heart of the Maya civilization. At its height, nearly 2,000 years ago, this city was home to more than 100,000 people, dominated by towering pyramids that pierce the jungle canopy. The Great Jaguar Temple and Temple of the Masks still soar skyward, their stone steps worn smooth by centuries. Yet by the 9th century, TIKAL was abandoned almost overnight. Its plazas fell silent, its palaces empty, swallowed by the relentless jungle. For centuries, the city lay hidden beneath roots and vines until rediscovered in the 19th century. Today, howler monkeys echo through the ruins, and mist curls around temples that once aligned with the stars, reminding us that TIKAL was not only a city, but also a cosmic observatory. Rising from the arid plains of southern Iran, Persepolis was the ceremonial capital of the mighty Achaemenid Empire. Founded by King Darius the Great in the 6th century before Christ, it was designed to awe. Terraces of polished stone, grand staircases carved with endless processions of soldiers, nobles, and tribute bearers from every corner of the empire. At its height, Persepolis was not just a city, but a symbol of power and unity, where kings held festivals and received envoys beneath towering columns and gilded halls. Then, in the year 331 before Christ, Alexander the Great swept through Persia. In a single night of fire and conquest, Persepolis was reduced to ruins. Yet the ashes did not erase its grandeur. Today, colossal gateways, winged bulls, and stone reliefs still stand against the desert sky, a haunting testament to a city that vanished in flames overnight but remains immortal in stone. In the rugged hills of central Turkey lie the ruins of Hattusa, once the powerful capital of the Hittite Empire. More than 3,000 years ago, this city commanded armies, forged treaties, and rivaled Egypt itself. Protected by massive walls stretching miles across the hills, Hattusa was entered through monumental gates: the Lion Gate, the King's Gate, and the mysterious Sphinx Gate, each guarded by towering stone carvings. Inside, temples dedicated to the storm god and sun goddess stood at the heart of Hittite religion, while archives of clay tablets recorded laws, myths, and the earliest known peace treaty with Pharaoh Ramses of Egypt. But around 1200 before Christ, disaster struck. The city was abandoned almost overnight, a victim of the great collapse of the Bronze Age. On the wide plains of central Myanmar rises Bagan, a sacred landscape where time itself seems suspended. Between the 11th and 13th centuries, this was the capital of the pagan kingdom and one of the world's great centers of Buddhism. In just a few generations, kings and devotees built more than 10,000 temples, stupas, and monasteries, their spires piercing the sky above the Irrawaddy River. Earthquakes, invasions, and centuries of neglect reduced the city to ruins almost overnight, leaving only about 2,000 structures standing today. High above the Aegean Sea, on a wind-swept ridge of Santorini, lie the ruins of ancient Thera. Founded in the 9th century before Christ by Dorian settlers, this cliff-top city commanded breathtaking views of the islands and sea routes below. Over the centuries, it was shaped by Greeks, Romans, and Byzantines, each leaving their mark. Temples to Apollo and Artemis, a theater carved into the hillside, paved streets lined with houses, and early Christian basilicas. Yet life here was never easy. The volcanic soil and harsh winds made survival a constant struggle, and eventually the city was abandoned, fading almost overnight as power shifted to the ports below. For centuries, it lay forgotten until archaeologists uncovered its streets in the 19th century. In the fertile Bekaa Valley of Lebanon stands Baalbek, home to some of the most astonishing stone monuments ever created. Once a grand Roman sanctuary dedicated to Jupiter, Venus, and Bacchus, the site is famous for its colossal monoliths, blocks of stone so massive they defy imagination. The stone of the pregnant woman weighs more than 1,000 tons, while the recently uncovered Stone of the South is even larger, among the heaviest stones ever carved by human hands. Yet these giants were cut with precision, meant to be transported and placed in temple foundations without the aid of modern machinery. How the Romans, or perhaps even earlier builders, moved such titanic stones remains an enduring mystery. Though earthquakes and time reduced the temples to ruins, Baalbek's surviving columns still soar skyward, and its monoliths rest silently in their quarries, reminders of a city that seemed to vanish overnight but left behind puzzles carved in stone. Herculaneum, often overshadowed by its larger neighbor Pompeii, is one of the most extraordinary windows into the ancient Roman world. Nestled along the Bay of Naples, this once thriving seaside town was buried under a torrent of volcanic mud and ash when Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. Unlike Pompeii, which was covered in pumice and ash, Herculaneum was sealed in a dense layer of volcanic material that preserved entire wooden structures, furniture, scrolls, and even food, as if time had been frozen. Walking through its narrow streets today feels like stepping directly into Roman daily life. Lavishly decorated villas with mosaics and frescoes, ancient baths, and shops still holding amphorae of wine. Archaeologists even uncovered hundreds of human remains along the shoreline, where residents sought refuge from the eruption's fury. Ayutthaya, Thailand. Once the shining jewel of Southeast Asia, Ayutthaya was the capital of a mighty kingdom that thrived for over 4 centuries. Founded in 1350, it rose to become one of the wealthiest and most cosmopolitan cities in the world, a crossroads of global trade where merchants from Japan, China, India, Arabia, and even Europe gathered. At its height, Ayutthaya dazzled with golden temples, towering prangs, Khmer-style spires, grand palaces, and bustling canals. But in 1767, it all came to a fiery end when the Burmese army invaded, leaving the once glorious city in ruins. Today, the UNESCO World Heritage Site still echoes with grandeur. Headless Buddha statues sit in silent meditation. Ancient Chaides lean against time, and the famous Buddha head entwined in tree roots at Wat Mahathat stands as a haunting symbol of resilience. Belchite, Spain. In the arid plains of Aragon lies Belchite, a town forever frozen in time. Once a thriving village, it became the stage of one of the bloodiest battles of the Spanish Civil War, 1937. For 2 long weeks, fierce fighting between Republican and nationalist forces turned the town into ruins. Buildings crumbled, churches collapsed, and entire streets were reduced to rubble. After the war, Franco ordered the town left as it was, a silent monument to destruction, while a new Belchite was built nearby. Today, walking through its abandoned streets feels like stepping into a ghost story. Hollow bell towers, bullet-scarred walls, and broken arches whisper the echoes of war and loss. Many visitors claim to hear phantom footsteps, distant gunfire, or voices carried on the wind. High in the Andes of Peru, Machu Picchu stands as one of the most breathtaking archaeological wonders on Earth. Built in the 15th century by the Inca Empire, this lost city in the clouds was hidden from the world for centuries, its stone temples, terraces, and palaces blending seamlessly into the surrounding mountains. Historians still debate its true purpose. Was it a royal estate, a spiritual sanctuary, or an astronomical observatory? What makes Machu Picchu extraordinary is not just its mystery, but also the engineering genius behind it. Stones fitted so precisely that even earthquakes couldn't bring them down. Timgad, often called the Pompeii of Africa, is a breathtaking Roman ruin tucked away in the high plains of Algeria. Founded by Emperor Trajan around 100 AD, this ancient city was designed as a perfect Roman grid, a masterpiece of urban planning with streets running in precise right angles. Walking among its sun-bleached stones, you can still see the grandeur of a Roman world that once thrived here. A triumphal arch soaring proudly, an expansive forum, a basilica, libraries, and one of the largest theaters in North Africa, able to hold over 3,000 spectators. But Timgad is more than ruins. It's a frozen memory of an empire's reach into Africa. Buried for centuries beneath the sands, it remained untouched until rediscovered in the 19th century, astonishing archaeologists with how well it had been preserved. Avdat, Israel. Once a flourishing Nabatean city along the legendary incense route, Avdat rose from the desert like a jewel of trade and power. Founded in the 3rd century BCE, it became a vital stop for caravans carrying frankincense and myrrh across the Negev. The Nabateans, famed for their desert mastery, built temples, wine presses, and fortifications here, later expanded by the Romans and Byzantines into a grand city of culture and faith. Avdat's white limestone ruins still whisper stories of merchants, monks, and soldiers who crossed this harsh land in search of fortune and salvation. Today, the crumbled columns, churches, and fortress walls stand against the winds of time, a UNESCO World Heritage treasure rising from the barren Negev desert, holding the echoes of a civilization that tamed the sands. Uplisiki, Georgia. Imagine an ancient rock-hewn city carved directly into cliffs above the Metkvari River. Dating back to the early Iron Age, this cave town once thrived as a major cultural, political, and religious center of the Kartli Kingdom. Its winding tunnels, chambers, pagan temples, and hidden passageways whisper stories of a time when rituals to the sun and moon were performed inside stone sanctuaries. Later, it became a stronghold of early Christianity, blending old pagan shrines with new faith. High in the misty mountains of northern Peru lies Cuelap, an ancient walled city built by the Chachapoya people, often called the Warriors of the Clouds. Constructed around the 6th century, long before the rise of the Inca, it is one of the largest stone complexes in the Americas, with massive walls that soar up to 20 meters, 65 feet high. Unlike a fortress built purely for war, Cuelap also served as a sacred and political center, holding more than 400 circular stone structures decorated with zigzag and diamond carvings. Hidden in cloud forests and perched at over 3,000 meters, 900 to 800 feet above sea level, it remained forgotten by the world until explorers rediscovered it in the 19th century. Angkor, Cambodia. Deep in the jungles of Cambodia lies one of the world's greatest archaeological enigmas. Built by the Khmer Empire between the 9th and 15th centuries, Angkor is not just a single temple, but an entire lost city stretching across nearly 400 square kilometers. Its crown jewel, Angkor Wat, is the largest religious monument on Earth, aligned so precisely with the sun and stars that some believe it was designed as a cosmic map of the universe. Yet mysteries remain unsolved. How did ancient engineers move millions of tons of stone through dense jungles without iron tools or wheels? Beneath the ruins, hidden canals and reservoirs reveal an advanced water system so complex it rivaled modern cities. Yet no one knows why this great civilization suddenly collapsed. Hidden deep in southeastern Turkey lies Dara, an ancient city often called Mesopotamia's Ephesus. Once a mighty fortress of the Eastern Roman Empire, Dara is wrapped in layers of mystery. Beneath its crumbling stone walls and sunlit ruins lies an underground world, vast cisterns carved into the earth, tunnels stretching into darkness, and chambers whose true purposes are still debated. Some say they were water reservoirs, others whisper of prisons or burial vaults for forgotten kings. The necropolis, carved into cliffs, holds tombs that look like portals to another realm, while the massive city gates hint at power now lost to time. Even today, archaeologists continue to uncover strange artifacts and hidden passages, suggesting Dara has yet to reveal all of its secrets. Masada, Israel, an ancient fortress perched high on a rugged plateau above the Dead Sea, is one of the most dramatic sights in the world. Built by King Herod around 30 BCE, it was both a palace and a stronghold, designed to withstand any enemy. But Masada is most remembered for the tragic story of the Jewish rebels who took refuge here during the First Jewish-Roman War. In 73 CE, after a long Roman siege, the defenders, rather than surrender and face slavery, chose death in an act of collective defiance. Today, the ruins of palaces, storerooms, Roman camps, and the massive siege ramp still remain, whispering stories of courage and tragedy. Perched high on a rugged cliff overlooking the wild North Sea, Dunnottar Castle in Scotland is one of the most dramatic ruins in the United Kingdom. Once a mighty fortress, its walls have witnessed fierce battles, royal visits, and legendary sieges. In 1297, William Wallace captured it, and centuries later, it sheltered the Scottish crown jewels from Oliver Cromwell's army. Today, its weathered stones tell stories of power, betrayal, and survival. Surrounded by crashing waves and misty skies, Dunnottar feels like a place suspended between history and legend, where every corner whispers echoes of Scotland's untamed past. High on the windswept plateau of western Tibet lies Saparang, the forgotten capital of the ancient Guj kingdom. Rising from the desert cliffs of the Sutlej Valley, the city once flourished as a center of Buddhism, art, and trade along the Silk Road. Its caves and temples, carved directly into the golden rock, are filled with faded yet breathtaking murals depicting deities, mandalas, and celestial guardians. Today, the ruins whisper of a vanished kingdom, palaces crumbling into the dust, secret tunnels winding through the cliffs, and silent watchtowers overlooking the vast Himalayan wilderness. In the dusty plains of Sindh, Pakistan, lies Mohenjo-Daro, one of the world's earliest and most mysterious cities, built around 2500 BCE as part of the Indus Valley civilization. Its name means Mound of the Dead, yet this ancient city was once alive with innovation and life. Unlike many ruins, Mohenjo-Daro shows signs of a highly advanced urban culture. Its grid-like streets, sophisticated drainage system, and multi-storied brick houses suggest a society far ahead of its time. What puzzles archaeologists is how such a flourishing city suddenly declined. Was it natural disaster, invasion, or climate change? No written records survive to tell us. Hidden beneath layers of sand and time on the windswept Orkney Islands of Scotland lies Skara Brae, one of the best preserved Stone Age villages in the world. Older than Stonehenge and even the Great Pyramids of Egypt, this Neolithic settlement dates back over 5,000 years. Discovered after a fierce storm in the 19th century uncovered its stone dwellings, Skara Brae offers a rare glimpse into prehistoric life. The homes are connected by covered passageways and, remarkably, stone furniture such as beds, shelves and hearths remain in place as if the villagers had only just left. Archaeologists believe the people of Skara Brae were farmers, fishermen, and craftsmen, living in close community until the village was mysteriously abandoned around 2500 BCE. High in the rugged mountains of Dagestan, Russia, clings a mysterious abandoned village known as Gamsutl. Perched nearly 400 meters above sea level, its crumbling stone houses seem to grow out of the cliffs themselves, like a forgotten fortress suspended in time. Gamsutl is often called the Machu Picchu of Dagestan, not only for its breathtaking location, but also for its air of mystery. Believed to be over 2,000 years old, the village once thrived as a mountain stronghold, home to bustling trade routes and generations of highland families. Narrow alleys, terraced homes, and watchtowers still whisper of its vibrant past. Yet today, Gamsutl is silent. The last resident, an elderly man who refused to leave his ancestral home, passed away in 2015. Since then, only wind and mountain eagles keep watch over the ruins. Napata, Sudan. Once the proud capital of the ancient kingdom of Kush, Napata rests in the shadow of the sacred Jebel Barkal mountain, believed by its people to be the dwelling place of the gods. From the 8th century BCE, this city became the beating heart of a powerful African empire that rivaled Egypt, producing the so-called Black Pharaohs, who once ruled both lands. Its temples, built in honor of Amun, echoed with rituals that blended Nubian spirit and Egyptian grandeur. Though time has reduced Napata to silent ruins, the sandstone columns, crumbling pyramids, and the ever-present mountain whisper of a kingdom that rose from the desert and carried divine authority across the Nile Valley. Napata is not just an archaeological site. It is a testament to Africa's forgotten kings and their sacred bond with the gods. Hidden in the eastern Rhodope Mountains of southern Bulgaria lies PERSEPOLIS, an ancient rock city carved high into the cliffs. Often called the Bulgarian Machu Picchu, this vast archaeological complex is believed to have been a sacred site for over 8,000 years, with traces of human activity dating back to the Stone Age. PERSEPOLIS is shrouded in myth and mystery. Many scholars believe it was the location of the famous temple of Dionysus, where ancient priests prophesied the future through wine rituals. Legends say that Alexander the Great and even the Roman general Augustus may have received divine predictions here before embarking on their great conquests. Walking among its colossal rock-hewn altars, palaces, and fortifications, you feel the weight of centuries. Tulum, Mexico, a city where the jungle meets the sea, and ancient stone walls whisper the secrets of a lost world. Perched dramatically on limestone cliffs overlooking the turquoise Caribbean, Tulum was once a thriving Mayan port city, a place where trade routes converged and priests read the stars to guide their people. Its temples, dedicated to gods of wind and sun, still rise proudly against the endless horizon, while the sacred cenotes below hint at rituals both mysterious and haunting. Hampi, India, in the heart of Karnataka, scattered among massive boulders and lush banana plantations, lies the ghostly yet breathtaking city of Hampi, once the glittering capital of the mighty Vijayanagara Empire in the 14th century. At its peak, Hampi was one of the wealthiest cities on Earth, drawing merchants from Persia, Portugal, and China who came to marvel at its riches, its bustling bazaars lined with gems and silk, and its towering temples carved with divine figures. Even in ruins, Hampi's grandeur is undeniable. The Virupaksha temple still stands tall, a living shrine that has been worshipped continuously for over 1,300 years. The Vitala Temple houses the world-famous stone chariot, an architectural masterpiece carved entirely from granite, with wheels once believed to have turned. The musical pillars of the same temple are said to produce notes when struck, echoing with the artistry of a civilization that blended science, art, and devotion seamlessly. Legends whisper that this land is sacred, tied to the Hindu epic Ramayana. It is believed to be the mythical Kishkinda, the monkey kingdom where Hanuman was born. Wander through Hampi's surreal landscape of giant boulders, and you'll feel the weight of myth pressing against history. Vadzia Cave Monastery in Georgia is one of the most astonishing cave complexes in the world. A hidden city carved directly into the cliffs of Mount Erusheti along the Kura River. Built in the 12th century under the reign of Queen Tamar, Georgia's most beloved ruler, this underground wonder was designed both as a spiritual sanctuary and a strategic fortress against invading forces. The monastery once contained over 6,000 rooms, secret tunnels, 13 churches, libraries, wine cellars, and even a pharmacy, stretching nearly 500 meters along the mountainside. At its peak, it could house up to 50,000 people, functioning like an entire underground city. What makes Vadzia especially fascinating is its resilience. After a massive earthquake in the 13th century exposed much of the hidden city, visitors could finally see its grand scale carved into the mountain face. MYRA, one of the greatest archaeological treasures of Greece, was once a mighty center of power that shaped the Bronze Age. Rising to prominence in the second millennium before Christ, it was the heart of the Mycenaean civilization, which flourished between the 16th and 12th centuries before Christ. This legendary citadel, guarded by the famous Lion Gate, the oldest known monumental sculpture in Europe, was said to be founded by Perseus, the son of Zeus. Within its massive cyclopean walls, believed by ancient Greeks to have been built by giants, archaeologists uncovered royal tholos tombs, golden death masks, and countless treasures, including the so-called Mask of Agamemnon,